Credit Connection today. I am here with Paul from Glia. Welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, Paul Sheets. I'm the Executive Vice President of Success and Services at Glia Technologies.
So what does that title mean?
Yeah, good question. Basically, once a credit union decides to partner with Glia, they come into my world. So I have a launch management team that helps implement, configure the software, attach it to high-value use cases, and then I also have the customer success managers, which are kind of an ongoing consultant, if you will, that help make adjustments to the program, think about new use cases, and just ensure that our customers are getting value from their investment in the technology. So.
Yeah,
everything kind of after the sale.
Well, and that's important. Doing the I don't want to say hand holding. I don't mean it to be demeaning, but just like explaining, like this is what you can do with it. This is like how you open up the Corvette. Like,
yeah. Well, it's exactly right, and we acknowledge that for many credit unions, it's the first time that they've had a digital experience, so a live chat experience, and we just don't bring a live chat or a digital experience. We bring the ability to upgrade that chat, to add co-browse to it, to add audio to it, or to even upgrade it to a video conversation. So it's like a Ferrari, and sometimes you need to learn how to use it. So,
yeah. I prefer American made. That's why I want the Corvette, but it's okay.
Potato, it's okay.
78, 79 bet. Pretty good.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, So, one of the things that we were kind of chatting about before we started recording is the evolution of member service.
Yeah.
It's very different. Very different than it was even 10 years ago and 5 years ago before COVID, right? When we were at GAC and everybody was like, oh, COVID, what the heck is this? And all of a sudden, like a week later, bam, everything shut down.
The world shut down, yeah.
Right? So talk a little bit about that and the acceleration. It went from like evolution to revolution, and then, how that's going forward.
Yeah, I like that. I like that framing. I mean, one of the things I love about partnering with credit unions is that there has always been a deep and abiding respect for the community that they serve, right? Like very, very mission driven. And so I think embedded in the DNA is a genuine care for the members that they serve. And that's an amazing starting point. And it's interesting because when you think about just member experience generally, I like to think that there are actions that a credit union can take, which tend to be maybe like one-way communications, and then there's interactions, which are two-way. Research shows that those two-way interactions have a disproportionate impact on the member experience, the member sentiment for the organization, member loyalty, their likelihood to grow the business that they bring to that credit union. Though the thing that I find interesting is that when you survey and you talk to leaders and ask credit union leaders, how many of you feel like you deliver a world-class member experience through all interactions, it's not very high. There's acknowledgement that they're really good in some areas, but that there's opportunity to evolve in other areas. And that's an exciting place to be. So you've got customers who care deeply about their members, and there's an acknowledgement that there's probably more that can be done. And that's where Glia sits. We focus, our mission, our stated mission is to redefine the way that credit unions serve their members and interact with their members.
And it's so important what you were just talking about, the interaction.
Yes.
It's a dialogue, not talking at people, right?
Yes, exactly. And part of that, one of the things that I have found is that because of the background of credit unions, right? Like there was so much so much focus on the branch experience, right? And just making sure that there was the smiling face, the warm welcome, the fun in-branch games, the warm cookies on the counter, right? Like a lot of really, really good and thoughtful
Maybe
things
a coffee,
put
little
into
coffee table.
Little coffee.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
nice. Yeah,
it's great, right?
Yep.
And a lot of thought and care put into the physical interaction.
Yes.
But we know that the way the world is going, more and more interactions are originating when someone is at or near a screen, whether it's a desktop, whether it's their phone. 80-90% of interactions, right, are happening when you're at a screen. And as we think about the rising generation and how are they going to do their banking, having a digital experience that is built with as much care as the in-branch experience is critical.
Yes.
And Glia is the software that enables credit unions to do that.
Yes. And it used to be an also, or a, we also do this, right? And now, I mean, if you look at the data, and I don't remember offhand where I got it from, but there's like 80% of transactions are happening online, not in the branch anymore.
Yeah.
The branches are great for certain things.
Well, they're wonderful.
But yeah, I haven't walked in and I'm on the board of my credit union, so I do go into the headquarters for our board meetings. But yes, I mean, other than that, I don't go into a branch.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, I still like. So my credit union doesn't actually offer business services, since I'm self-employed.
Oh, okay.
I went to another credit union, but I didn't until they had a branch in my area.
Yeah.
But I'm also not the target audience necessarily. I'm Gen X, so like I was never the target audience. But yeah, I mean, right now, people like me who are, establishing their career, mid-40s, and starting to become empty nesters and whatnot, we kind of like are in this like halfway point. Like, we grew up without the technology, but we're relatively quickly adapting to it. Yeah. My parents are even online managing banking and investments and stuff like that. So we adapted, but the younger generations, that's all they are going to know.
All they know.
And so if you don't do the things, you aren't going to get them in to start with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great point. I love that you call out that even the older generation, they are adopting technology. Maybe at a slightly slower clip, but they are adopting it.
Yes.
I sometimes feel like there's a belief that they are not, and that it's just a strategy to serve, the millennials or younger. But I think the data shows that it's definitely not the case. There's one other thing that kind of came to mind that I think maybe goes back to the member experience. Sorry, I'm going back to the question you asked.
It's all good.
But one of the things that we've also observed across credit unions is that oftentimes there will be a channel-first strategy, like we want to launch this channel, or I have a phone team, or I have a digital team, or whatever it is, and they're kind of disparate teams, disparate functions. And one of the innovative things that we're doing at Glia is we're saying, don't take a channel-first approach. Start with the member need.
Yes, start with the outcome. Yes.
What is the core need of the member? Because we can agree that if you're reaching out to inquire about branch hours, or asking about where you can get download your tax statements or your monthly statement, those are important, but those are relatively simple requests. Then there are needs like, I need a mortgage loan, I need an auto loan, I'm looking for a new credit card, I would like to get a CD. Those are dramatically different interactions, more complex, but I would argue a much higher value and
Yeah, I don't think that's an
strategically
argument.
important, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
not an argument at all.
Yeah.
For the branch, we should be creating strategies around the need, not the channel.
Right.
And so one of the things Glia has done is we flipped that and we said, we give you the ability to assess the need and then move the member to the right channel that's suited for the need that they have. So you can get it right every time.
Yep. And it's a culture thing, because you're not just getting like you were kind of alluding to, like a chat bot. You're not just getting a call center, directory kind of thing. You're getting technology in a strategic level.
Yeah.
It's not just a technology job. It is also going to severely impact your loan officers. It's going to significantly impact your call center. It's going to, you've got all these areas of the credit union that it's going to affect, and then running it through a single silo, whether it's IT or whatever. Just not smart.
We've all had the interaction, right, where we're engaged, we're chatting with an organization, and they say, "Oh, you know what? You're going to have to call this number to get help with that." And you're like, "Oh my goodness!"
I chatted for a reason, right?
Yeah, and then you go and you call, and then you're having to answer all the same questions, and it creates this abrasive, friction.
Yeah, I was going to say, not even friction, abrasive, right? Yeah.
That, and there's a better way. And with Glia, if you're chatting and you figure out that it needs to be a voice interaction, you can upgrade and you can add voice to the chat and have a two-way conversation as if you were calling. Right? It's beautiful. Or let's say something started out with an AI virtual assistant, and it gets to a point where the member says, you know what? I'm not getting the answer I need.
To heck with this.
Talk to a human, right? And that's okay. That's actually the right outcome often, right? Talk to a human, and the interaction goes to the human. The cool thing about Glia and having this unified interaction management platform is that when AI passes that interaction to a live agent, they get the history with it. So when they pick it up, they're not asking the same questions all over again.
Right.
They're seeing the history. They're jumping in. "Hi, Susie, it looks like you've been asking about where you can download your statements. Mind if we start a co-browse session and I can show you exactly where to do it?" Oh my goodness, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That is the type of member experience members want.
Yes.
And most technologies, when you're buying point solutions, are incapable of delivering that type of experience. That is what members want. That is where organizations, where credit unions need to go. And that's one of the things that has me so excited.
Right. Well, and I compare that, as you were talking about that, it reminded me, right before this conference, I had to get the battery replaced on my iPhone. And so, going through the chat there, and then let's schedule an appointment. It was, yes, I had to do that thing because I needed a physical battery put in my phone. But, having that, not having to call in and to make that appointment, or, it was seamless. And then they're once, I love Apple stores. I don't go often, fortunately, which is also a good thing.
Yep.
But yeah, they have nailed the experience. And that is, we aren't just comparing ourselves to other banking or other, financial relationships. It's comparing our experience to Netflix. It's comparing it to Hulu. It's comparing it to Amazon. It's not fair. Credit unions got to compete with Amazon, but tough.
Yeah. But I love your point that there are other organizations out there that are setting the bar.
Yeah.
But do you know what I love? I think FI has the opportunity to lead in this area, because if you look in hospitality, if you look in retail, there are not solutions comparable to what Glia is doing in terms of bringing all of these together under one umbrella, I think this is an area where FIs actually have the opportunity to lead, which is really exciting to me.
So what's going on new at Glia? Anything? Anything?
Do you want like the late breaking?
I need the breaking news right here. Yes.
The breaking news. All right. I'll tell you what has me most excited, and I think it has me most excited because I've actually talked to probably 3 or 4 different customers today about this, and each time I talked to them, they were like, "Oh my goodness, give me that."
Yeah.
So, AI. Everyone loves talking about AI. I think we can agree there are lots of wrong ways to do AI, but there are right ways to do AI. And I want to talk about one of the ways that I think is really exciting to do AI. But I like to think about AI in kind of 3 levels when it comes to credit unions. There's AI that benefits the member in the moment. So I call it visitor AI. The second is AI that helps the agent do his or her job better. And then the third is AI that benefits the manager. And there is a new feature that is now in product that we are talking about that is, it's Gen AI powered automated interaction wrap-up. So what that means, and if you're familiar with interaction wrap-up, so if you're in a call center, if you're on a call, or if you're doing a chat or something, one of the expectations of the agent is that they assign a topic. So why did the member reach out in the first place? And then to do write a quick paragraph or blurb about what the interaction was about, how they handled it, etc. It becomes data that's valuable to the manager, it's valuable to decision makers when they're trying to figure out how to improve their call center or digital team operation. Well, guess what? If you were to survey 100 call center managers and ask them how many of them have teams that reliably do the wrap-up notes, you would be lucky to find 5. You would be lucky to find 5.
Experienced that recently too, yes.
Because it's a pain in the butt and it takes a lot of time, right? It's one of those things that there has to be an easier way. Well, guess what? There is. When you leverage the power of Gen AI, when you run the interaction through a Gen AI engine, guess what? Gen AI can identify the topic. Gen AI can leverage a sentiment model to determine if it was a good interaction, neutral, or a bad interaction, and it can create the wrap-up. All of a sudden, what you have is you have an agent that wraps up an interaction, sees the automatically generated content, has the ability to change it if they think it's misrepresenting it, but then hit send. But the beauty in all of this is now the call center managers, or those who are trying to make strategic decisions about where are our hot spots in the organization, where are members frustrated, or where are they dissatisfied, all of a sudden they are equipped with a level of high fidelity data that they have not had before. Data that allows them to be surgical about how they are improving their operations. You drop it into Pareto diagram, you know exactly where you begin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I love it. I'm a little bit of a dork like that because I have run a global contact center. And so I know the pain that it's solving, and I love it. So that's one of the new features that we are out and talking about and excited to tell everyone in the credit union space about.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it's funny because you said 2 things that remind me of my MBA classes. One was Pareto.
You're welcome.
But 2 was this book called The Goal about bottlenecks, right? And the thing about bottlenecks is, and you can think about it, one of the parallels they make is traffic, right? Like once this person has to slow down, you slow down slower. Like it gets worse and worse as you go back.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that book, by the way. Yeah.
I'm hating you right now. But
I love it.
But yeah, like this is, and then one of the things I'm also hearing in the industry, or like among people like yourselves, the business partners who serve both credit unions and community banks, that the credit unions are starting to adapt faster, like much faster, and much more willing than some of the community banks.
Yes, I am incredibly energized by some of our credit union partners. Very forward thinking, leaning into technology. I mean, they see the future, they acknowledge it, and they are adopting it. And I would agree, sometimes at a faster clip.
Yeah, they're pretty happy.
Yeah, they're. In fact, at dinner last night, I was with a credit union that they have a chief innovation officer. They've just gone all in on Glia, so they're doing their call center, they're doing their digital, they're doing their AI everything with Glia. And we were talking about the future and some of their plans. I left that dinner so inspired by what they and just credit unions in general are doing. Yeah, credit unions are going to be writing the script.
Now, see, you also brought up a little trigger point for me. You mentioned AI, I mean, like a few times throughout.
Yeah.
AI, everybody, like, ChatGPT, that's what, like, made everybody go, I need AI, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably true at some point.
Yeah.
But developing that technology or using that technology at a strategic level.
Yeah.
Like what do you need it for? What problem are you trying to solve? And so, talk a bit about that, and what are the problems that credit unions are looking to AI for?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you see that. Yeah.
I really appreciate that question, and I think it begins with just acknowledging that it's new, and it can be intimidating for some people. And one of the things that I'm hearing is we just need someone to tell us how to do AI responsibly.
Yeah.
At Glia, we do AI responsibly. And I'll tell you, so I'm going to go back to the visitor AI, the agent AI, and the manager AI for a second. But I'm going to focus on the visitor AI because that's what I think most organizations are referring to when they talk about AI, or when they start saying we need ChatGPT.
They're not talking about RPA.
Yeah, they are talking about visitor AI.
Right.
So here's the thing: you can't just throw generative AI out onto chat and let whatever
it is scary.
Comes out fly. It is irresponsible.
Yes.
You're going to find yourself committing to things that shouldn't have been committed to, saying things that shouldn't have been said, and potentially getting yourself into regulatory hot water, right?
Legal trouble.
And legal trouble,
yeah.
right? We've seen examples of it in other industries, in airlines.
Airlines, I was just going to say,
yeah,
yes.
right?
I'm probably thinking the same story.
Yeah, there are examples of it, right? Our approach at Glia is let's leverage AI and the understanding models on the front end. So when a member has a question, let's understand it really, really well. But then what we do is we have 800 turnkey responses that what we do is we work with our members, our customers, to ensure that, so they write a response. They run it through marketing to ensure it has the tone and the voice of the credit union.
Right.
They run it through compliance and legal to ensure that it's not getting them into hot water. And so what we do is we ensure that a scripted answer that delivers exactly what the credit union wants to be delivered is matched to the member need. You eliminate the risk, you eliminate the hallucinations, and you set up AI with guardrails, responsible AI that can be trusted. And guess what? In doing this, our customers are getting, I think it's like on average, a 65% containment. And so when you think 65% of those are actually being addressed by AI, and then what that does is those others that do go to humans, the humans who are available have more time to invest in those interactions and create really high touch interactions.
Yeah.
So there is a right way to do it, and it is within reach. And Glia has the roadmap. We've been at it for a decade. We have some of the best scientists, linguists. We have conversational AI consultants on staff to hold our customers by the hand and take them on that journey, because we know it's new. We know it's uncharted water for many organizations, and we have built the infrastructure to ensure that our credit unions can succeed when taking this step. And it's not a question of if they should. We know that there's a certain inevitability here.
Yeah.
But it's helping them be able to take it in a way that is not introducing risk to their brand and to their organization. And that's the way we deliver AI.
Yep. Awesome. So I could go on.
Yeah, this is fun.
I could
have
go
enjoyed
on
talking
for a
with
half
you.
hour. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm hysterical.
You brought out the goal and the theory of constraints. We could go for an hour, I'm pretty sure.
But I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna let you actually wrap up. Final thoughts
Oh
from
my
you.
goodness. Final thoughts for me. You know what? Maybe just kind of going back to where we started. Coming to an event like GAC and just seeing how much these organizations, the impact they're having in their communities, how much they care for their members, and just the societal good that credit unions are doing. I could not be more happy to be partnering with these organizations, and I just have a conviction that we are able to partner with these organizations and help them modernize the way that they're engaging with their members, and it's an exciting time.
Yep.
It's an exciting
Absolutely.
time, and I'm grateful to be here for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
This is really fun.